Ladies and gentlemen, it is showtime. Please enjoy the show.
It's the corner where the treats
Is this the passing of the torch, right? Is this what this signifies?
It comes down to that front office and what they feel is most important.
The champ is here. We've touched down from a higher plane. Why you landed here?
We always look forward to that week because it was always intense.
You know that we ain't coming back. We about to.
The man, the myth, the legend, Dante Hall. My favorite player growing up was Dante Hall. I love you guys in the show, but Dante was my guy.
Get to dashing because you done on the warfare.
Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Chief Concerns. I am Marcus Dash, our guy, former Chiefs tight end. Jason Dunn should be joining us shortly. And tonight we got a pretty good action-packed show. There's a lot of debate going on about Rashee Rice, the interview he gave on his live stream with Tyquan Thornton, or not interview, but live stream commentary on his live stream a couple days ago. We'll get into that tonight, as well as getting into our new edition of Kaiir Elam, a guy that on this show, this very show, 4 years ago, JD wanted to be drafted. This is before we went really hard with our college prospect shows. Before that, we just did really one mock draft before the upcoming draft. And that was pretty much it. But on that show, JD gave us content, and we'll go over that tonight as to why JD liked Kaiir Elam and why, he thinks he's got a shot on this team and why it's a pretty good buy low candidate there with Kaiir Elam. So, yeah, we're getting to all that tonight. And I think someone actually DM'd me. I'm going to talk to JD about it when he comes on, but I'm sure you guys saw Diana Rossini and Mike Vrabel. And for me, it's like as a journalist or as a former journalist, that's where it kind of blurs the line, especially when it comes to sports world. And being in newsrooms, I've seen a lot of stuff. I mean, I saw fellow reporters have a little bit too much of a cozy relationship with, public information officers or firefighters, just to be the first. I mean, it's crazy, right? Talk about to be the first call on different crime scenes or whatnot. So people had cozy relationships. When I mean cozy, I mean a little too close for comfort kind of stuff. The stuff we're seeing with Diana Rossini and Mike Vrabel, and both are married. So you got a kind of a weird thing going on there. But someone wanted me to ask JD about this today, what his thoughts are on it. But yeah, I've seen it being in the newsrooms. I've seen that stuff before. You see that stuff in every kind of office space, any kind of job. I mean, people are with each other a lot. They're going to become more familiar, more close with each other, more access, right? Taking the word insider into a whole nother level of inside an insider. So yeah, it's a really weird thing. But yeah, we'll talk about that a little bit. But yeah, it should be a really interesting show. Jawaan Taylor is gone. I signed with the Atlanta Falcons, for a 1-year deal, $5 million. And I'll tell you what, it tells you two things, right? It tells you that people are just not high on him at all. The guy who got paid $23 million, or we saved $23 million, right? One of the higher paid right tackles in the league. We cut him, and no one touches him. And then he signs a 1-year, $5 million deal with Atlanta. And that tells you something, right? That tells you that, we are okay with our right tackle situation. We are okay with going to the draft and seeing what's out there, or seeing what's we have in-house between Issa Polle and Jalen Moore, as opposed to bringing back Jawaan Taylor on a reduced contract. They were okay with that, and it seems like the entire league was kind of with that as well, since nobody touched him, and he ended up signing a $5 million deal. Pretty different to what he was making in Kansas City. I'll tell you that much. But yeah, let's see who's in the chat tonight. We have around 20 people in the live right now. We got Will in here. Will, Juwan, Deuces. Yeah, Juwan, good luck in Atlanta, man. Good luck in Atlanta. I think I saw that one of their tackles retire today too, and they signed him right off the bat. So I will say this: if I was a Falcon fan, signing Jawaan Taylor to a 1-year, $5 million deal, that's solid, right? You were talking, a pretty good pass blocking grade for us. Yeah, he had penalties. Yeah, he doesn't, his alignment's off, the false starts, all that. No, that's good. But still, he was still able to be a solid pass blocking right tackle. You're getting him for a 1 year, $5 million. Not bad, honestly. Because you could say, because Jalen Moore's getting paid a lot more than that, right? So, and that's the thing. It's like, yeah. About times in here. Greetings, crew. Work lurking as usual. All right, buddy. Well, I appreciate that, man. Good to have you. Linda Hunter, something in the water in New England Patriot land. All right. Okay, so our guy, former Chiefs tight end Jason Dunn, is joining us now. There he is. Oh, what's with the shades, brother?
What's up, baby? How you doing? How's it going, man?
I'm doing good, man.
Felt just a little. It's a nice, bright, sunny day today. Felt like a movie star. So like I'm wearing my shades in here.
That's good. That's a good reason. That's good. That's a good reason. I thought something happened like that with your eyes or something like that, and you had it. Okay, that's good. I'm happy. That's the reason.
No, man. I just want to, hey, man, we'll come in, shine a little bit, Marcus. What's up, baby? Go. What's going on? How you doing?
I'm doing good, man. So obviously we have there's a few topics to cover tonight, but so I don't know if you saw the Mike Vrabel, Diana Rossini stuff. Did you see that?
That's the
reporter and the Patriots coach.
Yeah, I seen.
So
I just seen a picture of. I don't know, man. I don't really worry about people.
Yeah, we had a few people DM us today. They I guess they wanted to hear from your point of view as a player. And I can speak on it from a reporter's point of view. I've seen some crazy stuff in the newsroom. From the reporters getting too cozy with politicians, whatever, players, whatever. From your point of view, did you ever see that kind of stuff? I mean, maybe not to the extent of Vrabel and Diana Rossini, but like, did it ever get to a point where it was like kind of too cozy, where you would see reporters and players kind of get too like blurring that line of professionalism versus being friends, or I don't know? What are your thoughts on that?
No, I mean, sometimes you would have, reporters will come in from, different networks, possibly certain guys they wanted to, interview. You might be going out and you might see them out with their crew, things of that nature. But I didn't see anything inappropriate by anyone. They look like, okay, like I'm watching. I see what you're doing. Okay, nothing like that. So, however this happened, I don't know. It happened. These are two adults, that somehow they done linked up, in the pool and whatnot. So I don't know. To be honest with you, Marcus, I don't know. Vrabel's situation, is he married? Would get all of that?
They both are. The theory behind it is a lot of people think that one of the spouses hired a private eye and was able to take a picture of them on their bungalow at that resort they were at, or that hotel.
Are you kidding?
That's one of the theories I've read.
Wow, gee,
yeah,
that's hey, that's bad deal right there. Then that's almost like what's that? Remember a couple years ago the kissing cam at the concert?
That's right. Yeah. Very similar.
Yeah, got you out there and he just gallivanting around, huh? Man. Somebody different. It ain't your gal and your man. So,
yeah, I mean, people have uncovered a lot of stuff, a lot of tweets from the reporter Diana Rossini, and a lot of like one where she was on ESPN, like dogging her husband, saying he's an average guy, and she said, cause she was, I don't know what context it was. I think it might have been about Rodgers or someone getting married to a celebrity. And she was like, "Yeah, like if I had a hot spouse, I'd be posting about him all the time, but I don't. He's an average guy, so I don't post about him ever."
Who? She said that?
She said about her own husband. Like, it was like 4 years ago, but like, man,
it was already written on the wall then.
Oof, yeah,
something like that. Jeez. So,
and people are tying because she's been the number one reporter talking about the AJ Brown sweepstakes and going to New England. So now everyone's saying, okay, it makes sense now. You're getting your source is the guy you're being really cozy with, being a little too much of an insider.
Getting it from the horse's mouth.
Yeah, I mean
that's crazy. That I tell you what, for the simple fact even to put something out there like that about a husband, and that's really out of pocket. It really is. Some people stay in relationships way too long for many reasons. You know, may have kids or whatever. You know, you're traveling and things don't look like it should. You know, I think, man, if you want to get to that place, I mean, shoot, just move on with yourself, move on with your life. You know, if you want to do those things, it's wild, it's crazy. But hey, who am I to say? Listen, hey, it happens all the time. These things happen. You know, it's one of those things, man, in life that's crazy that goes on. Vrabes, he should come on, man. He should know better. If anything, you got to protect yourself. I mean, you just have to. Where was the resort at though? Was it like in a different country or something?
No, it was a luxury hotel, and I believe it was in New York. I think. Yeah.
Okay. Well,
that's what I think. But yeah, I mean, someone asked, so have I seen from the reporter's point of view? And I have. And news, I'm talking about local level. Well, two things. I kind of have a connection to the Rossini stuff. So I interned at the NBC station that she used to work for. I came in the year she left to go to ESPN, but I heard stories of her kind of being, and I was just always like, oh, rumors. And then like today, people are uncovering all this stuff about her, like, you know, her and another reporter got into a whole tiff with talking to Redskins or Washington Redskins at the time, coaching staff during the Jay Gruden days. There was some weird stuff that went on. And then the old GM of that same team, Scott McLuhan, his wife called out her on Twitter saying she was a side piece of her of the GM at the time.
Wow, you kidding?
Yeah. So there's been a long line of like rumors and stuff going on with her. I mean, you don't know what's true and what's not. It's all alleged, but like,
shoot, I guess you know, reputation precedes them. And if this is true, and you know, some people that's some people operate, man. So some people move, and they don't mind doing it. They don't mind like, hey, look, you know, I don't care who they married to. I'm just gonna, you know, go with what I feel, what I want, you know. And like I said, if you at that point, man, you need to just go ahead and cut ties then. You know, but you know, say it's cheaper to keep them, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
It's nuts. And from the reporter point of view, outside of that, like I have seen stuff in the newsrooms where people do get like, you know, you have public information officers. So different police departments have the person that speaks to the media, like their media trained person. Mm-hmm. And if you have a good relationship with them, you can be the first one to know about stuff. You can go be exclusive, be on the crime scenes when stuff happens. And so in newsrooms, people sometimes leave their emails up, and some people are very nosy in newsrooms. And I've been around other reporters when they've looked at somebody else's email, and emails get a little X-rated, maybe some rated R emails in there, and so which leads you to think there's more going on. And so yeah, I mean, reporters do that. I'm not saying this is what the case with the Diana Rossini stuff, but you know, reporters get close to situations sometimes to get to, you know, to be able to be the exclusive person, to be the person on the scene of certain reports, stories, sources, whatever. And people will do that, and relationships happen that way.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, hey, shoot. I always say this: whatever happens in the dark will soon come to light.
Yeah.
And you know, sooner or later, someone had to give somewhere. I mean, you can only go to New York for a weekend for certain things, right? It just Braves. I don't know. You said it was Vrabel's wife. You think it was?
The theory is one of the spouses hired a private eye. Yeah.
Well, her husband should have did it a long time ago. As soon as she made that, like, who are you talking about? Like, that would have been. That probably would have been the end of it. We don't talk about somebody like that. I mean, if you say that about the one that you supposedly love,
yeah,
right, that you married, you know, I don't know if she has children or not. If they have kids or not.
Yeah, I don't know if they do actually.
Okay, well, I mean, because I was
still that.
The follow to that, man. Even so, even if she does have kids in the future, I mean, it's kind of crazy. It's kind of crazy
to speak publicly about it. And there's also a lot of tweets where she like kind of disses her husband like on tweets. I mean, the amount of stuff she said about her husband, I was like, man, that's pretty nuts. I mean, the writing's on the wall there, I guess. I mean,
I know Vrabe has kids though, right?
Yeah,
if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I mean, and I think they both publicly said they were with 6 other people. They were just friends. But then other stuff came out that these bungalows are like where you go to the pool access. That's like that each room has its own access to the pool and stuff.
Okay.
And it's like rooms of 2. So it's
Okay.
It's I think from what I've read, it's more like a couples retreat kind of hotel.
I got you.
Yeah.
Yeah, come on. You see them cozying up like they were.
Yeah, I mean, holding hands, but hands clasped like that. I mean, I don't do it, friends.
Yeah, what are you doing here? I'm just came in for the weekend. You really? Hey, okay. Well, let's party a little bit together. Yeah, this is planned. But hey, man, all this stuff, man, that be going on. It's wild. It's just wild to me. But hey, man, shoot.
The NFL is a soap opera, as they say. The best
Life.
soap opera on TV.
Oh man, that's true. It's just life in general.
Yeah,
Things you hear about and you see. So,
our Lowry says Vrabel taking notes from Diggs. But yeah, so tonight should be a great episode, JD. 2 topics we kind of hinted at on Monday, but then more stuff's come out about the Rashee Rice stuff that we're going to get into tonight. From his live stream with Tyquan Thornton, which some stuff's come from there. And I think Tage and I don't know, you didn't get involved with a little back and forth Tage and I had on what Rashee Rice said in the text message, but it seems like Tage is a big Rashee Rice guy, so I think he's like Mr. Care for Concerns is a big Rashee Rice guy, so it's kind of conflict of
Yeah. It's like, hey, what are you doing now? Be consistent. Was that today? Was this a different time?
Our Tage and I's back and forth was today, but the stuff that came out, I think, for the live stream is either yesterday or 2 days ago for Rashee Rice. But let's get to that. All right, so JD, so obviously NFL has closed the investigation into Rashee. What's that, JD?
Say what's up to everybody here in the chat. Okay, first off, been done in a long time. Like to see it, man. Jerry Gallagher, good to see you. Gary's just here. Stanley Mooney, R. Lowry, General 51. What's that? 5170. About time. Demonte Green Beans. Who else I see? Lena Hunter. Will is in the house. Who else? Laura Zinkser is here. Michael Hall. So I just want to say what's up to everybody before we got started. I thought that was the courteous thing to do. Say what's up to our guest that's here tonight.
You're good.
Good to see you all. Proceed, sir.
Yeah. So obviously NFL has cleared Rashee Rice. They've closed their investigation, citing insufficient evidence under the league's personal conduct policy. This follows serious allegations in a civil lawsuit, but from a league standpoint, Rice moves forward without additional punishment. However, the situation continues to evolve. Rice already served a 6-game suspension tied to his role in a high-speed crash during the 2024 offseason, an incident that brought major legal consequences and scrutiny. Now, just as things start to settle, Rashee Rice stirred up things again during a recent live stream with Tyquan Thornton, taking a shot at former Chiefs wide receiver coach Embry, saying the team now has a real wide receivers coach. That's all he said about him, but I mean, it's kind of, a little bit of a diss, which you and I are both excited about Chad O'Shea, but in that he takes a diss at his former wide receivers coach. And he also hinted at wanting JSN money, referencing top-tier wide receiver pay expectations. Obviously, on the field, we all know what Rice is capable of, produced after returning 53 catches for 571 yards, 5 touchdowns this past season. So, JD, when you hear these kind of things about Rice obviously getting cleared, and even then with that, a couple days later, he's on a live stream, taking a shot at his former wide receivers coach, and like talk about JSN money. For me, and I get it. Every player wants to get paid, and I totally understand. Every player wants to get paid, and JSN's top of the market right now. So, I totally get that. Yeah. But optics matter. And for a guy who is, had the reckless driving a couple of years ago, the allegations that he just got cleared, and now we're on a live stream saying you want JSN money, dogging your former wide receivers coach. I don't know. It gives me it's not a good look, right? If it's me, I'm being bread and butter. I'm being vanilla as heck with all my comments and anything I have to say. I'm not gonna diss a wide receivers coach, especially too when Kaiir Elam is like a kind of a family friend with Andy Reid, right? And like that's a familial thing. And Andy Reid just want to hear, his former coach get dogged by a player who's has a lot of, baggage, so to say, with all the stuff that's been going on.
Yeah.
What do you make of this entire Rashee Rice situation now that he's been cleared by the NFL?
You are 1,000% right that optics do matter. Okay, we'll start there. And really, Rashee Rice is a young man that is trying to still figure everything out. And so obviously during this day and age of social media, and sometimes you can put your foot in your mouth in a lot of different ways. If you have criticism of your former coach, I mean, okay, some people don't mind putting things out there and saying whatever is on their mind. And sometimes you really respect somebody's truth, how they feel about it. Another one is your courteousness, right? Your couth, and you don't have to talk bad about anybody to say whatever, but maybe, that's how he felt, So, Connor might have needed a little bit more experience at, coaching the wide receivers. He's coached in the NFL, but I think, put him in a position like that to coach wide receivers was a tall task. I'm not saying that he wasn't up to it, but maybe there's some things that, it just didn't work. Obviously, it didn't work, right? Because then, Andy releases Connor, and the guys as far as wide receivers, we was looking for the development, didn't really necessarily happen. But also, too, I think a lot of it goes into, being able to juggle, manage young guys, okay, in their minds, and being professional athletes. And that's one of the things I think Chad is going to be able to do. Chad O'Shea is going to do a tremendous job of it. He has the cachet, he has the years, the experience to get guys going. He's had a lot of successful guys up underneath his belt. So it's not like you can question, like, well, does he know anything? Yeah, he does. He's been doing this for quite some time. And so when you think about it, man, I want to say, man, Chad's probably been coaching, I was going to say probably longer than he's been alive, truly.
Well, his first job was when in the NFL was with you. So was that, what, 2001, 2002?
Yes. So, yeah, I was Rashee. So that's a long time. So,
He's probably about the same age, actually.
and so, but going back to Rashee, listen, I'm like you. I would do everything in my power to stay as clean and out of the way as possible. Just out of the way. There's no sense, rattling the cages or say anything about anything and, making a lot of noise about it. Man, just let it all go. Be the consummate pro, come back with a great answer. Like, hey, listen, we didn't get to perform the way we want to, but it's why we like shows like that, right? Tycho Authority, because you get the raw truthfulness about what really went on, right? Do you need to divulge everything? Possibly. No, you probably shouldn't. But also, too, that's his decision, what he wants to be able to do. The question is, would coaches look at him and say, this is why we won't give this guy money? Or is it more detailed and dedicated because of his numbers on the field? Well, we also understand that the things that do happen off the field matters, okay? So I'll say this. We understand the picture. Him in the car wreck, for one. This whole domestic violence thing didn't come about anything, but there's still like something there, right? That you had to do full investigation, nothing came out of it, whatever. But I would go to Tibet, become a monk, Marcus. When we talking about hurting money, we're talking about hurting, you talking about JSN money? We're talking about, this is legacy building. We're talking about wealth, generational wealth type of money. If you're talking about trying to get money paid like that, then you got to carry yourself accordingly to earn that. So it's just not about what you do out on the field. What you do off the field also matters. And so if you'll think a younger guy like this has a lapse in judgment or choices, that could be a problem for a team. Some teams just not going to take a chance on guys that they think might be considered a problem or an issue because you could use that against the guy. Look, let's just talk turkey here for a second. If I'm a GM and I'm talking about putting in $40-something million into a guy, I don't care who he is. It don't matter who he is. That guy that I'm giving that money to, I got to trust he's going to be a model citizen in every part of his life, in every single situation, okay? And if there's been concerns, in the past about who this guy is, his maturation process, that's going to come into question about me putting that type of money into a guy that I don't know could be a loose cannon. Now, I'm not saying Rashee Rice is, but I'm just saying at a certain point, I think Rashee probably just needs to sit down, man, and just get out of everybody's way, and handle it like a pro. And I would tell him, man, like, yo, Rashee, man, hey, don't drop this bag. Do not. Seriously, man, just make sure you can secure this money, secure this bag, because it's not just about you, your family, but we're talking about generational wealth down the road. You got to be able to see it that this thing is bigger than you. So you're talking about your grandchildren, your great-grandchildren, great-great-grandchildren. We're talking about generations is what we're trying to change, okay? And so somebody need to take him up on their wing. We hear it all the time. But just really, man, a friend talking to him like, oh, man, we're going to get away from all this silliness because you don't need to deal with it. You just don't. And I know Chad's going to be talking to him. I know the enemy's going to be talking to him. So he's going to have two guys in the room that's going to get him straight to let him know exactly what it means to be in the NFL. Rashee's a young guy. He is. And so he had to say that the past couple of years, his tutelage and, what he's been hearing. And so sometimes, man, it takes a voice to really wake you up. I heard Shannon was talking about when he woke up. It's when he was, I don't know if you've seen that or not, but I seen a little snippet of, him and Ryan Clark was speaking. And he was like, when he came, he hit a tree. He was going to practice. I think he was going late. Bill Parcells is taking over or something like that. And he hit a tree and he realized, like, man, what am I doing with myself? He had a string of, maybe some arrest, things like that, I think he said. But if y'all get to check it out, go see it because it's really like illuminating to find out for guys, like, when do you get it? When does it hit to you? Like, you just can't keep making silly mistakes and say, oh, my bad and my mistake. At a certain point, that ain't going to fly, man. I mean, Marcus, think about it. As a professional in your careers and stuff like that, at a certain point, nobody wants to hear it. You got a job to do. Nobody wants to hear the excuses. They're not going to sit there and they're not going to just keep tolerating immature behavior. Let's just call it what it is. And so if that means you trying to find the right spouse or girlfriend or people around you, you make sure you do that. Do the vetting process. You have people around you that's going to protect you, that's going to tell you the truth. And I think that's what Rashee he needs. And so sometimes, man, we start making that type of money. Sometimes you can't hardly hear anybody. And guess what? When you do that, they said a hard head always makes a soft, you know what I mean? So I'm always pulling for Rashee. I am. But if I had a chance to talk to him, I'm like, yo, man, stay out of the way. Just stay out of the way, man. Seriously. Like, you don't need to do that. You don't need to be involved in any of it. Let whoever talk about it, you can't hang out, all that. All you need to worry about is you and what you need to take care of and for your family in the future. Those are things that's important. So I'm just going to keep it real. That's what I'm going to do. When I talk to my guys, young guys, that's always what I told them, the realness.
Yeah, I mean, and I remember you and I got kind of like by different fans, there were other teams' fan bases. We kind of got scared when the whole the driving thing happened a couple of years ago, where you said, he's a young guy, like give him grace. I mean, to our knowledge, he never had anything on his record before. One bad mistake doesn't define your life. And then, he's been punished for that. He got hurt, and then he got punished, the 6 games this year. And then he has a civil thing. And obviously he was cleared by the NFL, but he's still ongoing civil lawsuit, civil litigation. But like at a point, right? only people are only going to give you so many chances. As you get older, it's like, okay, you're now 25, you're now 26. You should be understanding where you're at. You've been in the league long enough to know there's consequences, and one of the consequences being, well, we're not going to pay you, right? If you continue to go down this path. And again, like, I mean, this is all the civil lawsuits, all alleged stuff that he did. So we don't know what he did. So he's been cleared by it. But you're right. I mean, you as you mature and get older, like these people, you know, whatever business you're in, they're investing in you, whether it's $1 million, wherever he wants to make, or, you know, even salaries, you know, such as, you know, us people who aren't in the NFL.
Yeah.
These companies are investing in you, and you're doing stuff to rub them the wrong way. It's like, okay, I don't know if we can trust you for next year, or, you know, so that's why he's going to have to, and that's why for me when I hear this conversation, and I think he said, like, as far as the JSN things, because someone tweeted saying this team traded Tyreek Hill, who was much better than Rashee Rice, and you're talking about JSN money, you ain't getting that. And I think he said it was more like just a kind of barometer to meet, right? I want to get to the JSN.
Yeah, right. Yeah. I mean, he's got a lot to meet there. You know, not just on the field, but I haven't really heard anything on JSN off the field doing anything either. At least for me, I haven't heard any noise. But yeah, but also too on the field, you know, your talent also too has to want getting paid that type of money as well, consistently. Consistency that's a key. And here's the thing though too. Okay, it's not taking anything from Rashee Rice, but also JSC, and I would call a more complete wide receiver because of the routes that he runs, the way he's able to get open. I mean, you know, I don't see no quitting the guy. He's been one of the top receivers in the past couple of years since he's been in. Shocked me. I mean, absolutely shocked me. Now, I would watch it because I was watching Tyler up there. You know what I mean? See how he was doing. I'm just like, look at this young dude out here to come out here, man, and he's just ripping it up. But yeah. So you had to talk about that's what you have to do on the field, okay, to at least considered getting a contract like that. All right. If you're just kind of, oh, okay, well, you know, you had 53 catches, you had 70-something your first year, and all, we can't talk about that type of money. Why? Because you haven't had that type of production. And then also, we're talking about Rashee. Is this something that you can do or cannot do? When we look at certain, plays, are you giving up? Are you putting your whole effort into it? So all of it goes into it, man. That's the way it works. This is a production-based business. Once you produce, you can get paid the type of money you need. But before that, you got to take care of your business off the field. You have to. So like I said before, man, you got to do a vetting process with some of these girls that's out here. You know, you're going to find out the ones that's with you and they're not. You just got to keep, hey, who are you? All right. Can I trust you? Got it? No. Yeah, you just got to make sure, man. You got to protect yourself. You got to protect your assets as much as possible. Okay. So.
And we've highlighted, and it's not to say, you know, Rashee, all around. We're just talking about, you know, the negative stuff that's happened on the field. We've highlighted the good stuff he's done on the field, on the field, right? He does a lot for his community down in Texas, and we talked about that many times on the show. So he has shown that as well. And I guess this main story for this is like, okay, in the week you just got cleared, you're on a live stream dogging your former coach, and it's like, come on, like, you just got good news. Like we don't need to throw shade at your past coach. And then also, and I think a lot of people are very mad about the JSN thing because he said he wants that money. It's, you know, it's that's what he wants. Every player wants to get paid the highest. I'm not going to dog the guy for that. For me, I was more like, you don't need to take a shot at Connor Embry. Like, you know, we could say, oh man, Chad O'Shea is an upgrade over Connor Embry, but like, you played on the guy, and like, he obviously was and you can even say that that's throwing shade at Andy Reid for even hiring the guy. Like, now I have a real coach, and I've been playing for this guy for 3 years. Now I have a real one. It's even kind of throwing shade at Andy Reid for hiring the guy in the first place. So, I mean, for me, it's like, dude, like, just go on that live stream, talk about what you guys have done. Maybe they even talked about potentially getting Carnell Tate or training for AJ Brown. Like, that's great stuff. You don't have to throw shade at your former coach. I mean, it's just try to be in good graces, in everyone's good graces as possible. But
Yeah.
I don't think the JSN thing is that big of a deal. What are your thoughts now? I don't think anything's wrong with that.
No, I mean, shoot, everybody, like you said, everybody wants top money. You know, they want to do it. I'm sure he understands that he's got to show that he's worth that type of money too to even get that. You know, having that goal and want to be that there's nothing wrong with that at all. So you don't want to kill those dreams, but there's a realistic situation that's there as well. But like you were saying, and this is kind of like the media savvy. But if you think you're talking to your boy, like I'm talking to you, we're sitting over here and he's just, he's hamming it up or saying whatever, don't feel like it's going to bite him at all. He doesn't feel like this is anything that is divisive, with him and the team it may not be. I don't know. But I think, certain things, you could keep to yourself, right? What parents always say, if you ain't got nothing good to say, don't say nothing at all, right? And it's hard to do. It's hard to do because some of these jokers out here need to be taken to task for some of the stuff that's going to be going out here right now, Marcus.
Yeah.
I'm here for all of that, though, too. Like, you got to be truthful. But, you could have said, like, look, we had a hard time. We had a young coach that really didn't have enough experience. We wanted to try to play through that. We wanted to try to play better. It just didn't work out. Like, there's a way you can handle that. There's one thing you can handle it, though. So
yeah, I mean, like, and that's the thing. It's like, all year long we're talking about EGE. Everyone's going to eat. Like, we had really like a fancy wide receiver room, very talented wide receiver room, and then now we're in April, and you're pretty much blaming the reason why EGE didn't work out is because Conor Embry. That's kind of a cop out.
Yeah, it's just that young mentality, man. Maturity. It's just what that is. So.
Yeah, but future outlook wise, though, in that same live stream they talked about potentially bringing in Cornell Tate, AJ Brown. That's not happening. The contract wouldn't make any sense. But there's still rumors out there of Tyreek Hill eventually signing with the Chiefs at some point. But future outlook for Rashee Rice, contract year for him. We've talked about potentially receivers to draft in this draft. We're linked to some in this upcoming draft. What do you? Is there anything Rashee Rice has to do this year in order to be able to get a contract? I mean, as we've seen, right? Trey McDuffie balled out, and when it came to getting paid, they said, "No, we can't pay that. You're out of here." Tyreek Hill did a lot, and with the Chiefs, when it came time for getting a second contract, it was we're gonna trade you. So I mean, what do you think Rice has to do this upcoming season to get an extension, or do you think this might be pretty much it for Rashee Rice in Kansas City?
I don't know. The one thing I'd say, man, just handling your business on the field and off the field. That's it. And the more you do that, you take care of that, leave all the noise, everything else, leave all that alone, and it just may work out. So I don't know if we get a contract or not. I just know, like, if you don't take care of things on the field and off the field, then you definitely won't get a contract. You definitely won't be here with the Chiefs. That's a fact. I know that for sure.
Yep.
And so, and then he's a coach of second chances. He is. He don't really jump the gun when he hears certain things. He's able to work with guys that perceived having trouble, all these different things, controversies might surround him. So that's the main thing, Marcus. Just take care of what you need to take care of. Ball out of your mind. When you get out there, look, the money's gonna come. If you take care of what you need to take care of, the money will be there. Chiefs might not sign it. Somebody's going to have it for you. They are. But then guess what? You got to get to the point where you ball so hard and so out of control that these other things that's talked about is an afterthought. That's what has to happen. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's just what it has to be. Period and point blank. Really. To the point like, okay, now this guy, he's got it all together now. He's got it all figured out.
Yep.
Talking about model citizen, man. That's what you got to be. So.
Because if he balls out, you're right. Because fans are prisoners of the moment, right? Because if he comes out this year, balls out, we don't hear a peep from him, and nothing off the field, no nothing, just he balls and does his thing. Yeah, because when he's on the field, he's Mahomes trusts him more than any receiver we have on our team outside of Kelsey, obviously. But his numbers are insane. He comes out here and does that for a full season. Fans are prisoners of the moment. They're going to forget everything that happened over the last few years and say, "Oh, sign him. We need to keep him. We need to keep him." Then when Veach trades him, fire Veach. Why is he trading him? So I mean, that's what happens. Fans will just change their minds if you show something in a given year.
Man, let the game speak for yourself. Let your game speak for itself, right? And then have let everybody toot your horn, pat you on your back. Let that happen. Then you make it hard on the Chiefs. We need this guy. So at that point, man, they'll sing your praises. So that's what it's going to take, man.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see. I hope he has a great year this year, and we'll see. And fair is fair. He also said, I know we're talking about this live stream that he did. He also said in that same breath of the JSN money, he said he wanted to be a Chief for life. So that was also another thing that for Chief fans who think it's all bad. Like, no, I mean, like, I don't think the JSN thing was bad. I think the dogging Conor Ambry thing, even though I'm happy as heck that he's gone and we have Shadow Shade now. But I'm just saying, like, that's just something like, it's like you don't kiss and tell. Some things are better left private, and it's like you said, he's probably talking to Tyquan, and Tyquan and him probably share the same thoughts on Embry, and he was just speaking to his boy, and he just said that. And also, it was a live stream too. It wasn't archived, so that's why I couldn't pull the clips up. There's only one clip from that was him talking about Carnell Tate. So I couldn't pull that out. But I mean, it was right to not have that archive.
What do you say about Tate?
Because someone asked, is there another receiver coming in? Do they want another receiver come in? And they said, we don't know. I mean, it could be Carnell Tate. That'd be sweet to bring in Carnell Tate or A.J. Brown. That'd be another guy. They just kind of threw those two names out there.
Okay. Yeah. Hey, man, listen. I'm pulling for Rashee Rice. Hope he gets everything he deserves and wants. But he's got to put his head down and focus up. Pure and simple. That's all he needs to do. He'll take care of that, take care of business, and then things will work out for him. But now with these things, like you said, things going up, that's going to be hard to make that decision, man, to sign him, for long term. But if everything remains quiet, he goes out there, man, and blows it up, puts the field on fire, he's going to get what he deserves.
Yeah, and look, he even posted a video today of a highlight of him working his butt off. I mean, I think he's gonna have a big year. It's a contract year. Generally, players play their best in their contract years. But I think he's gonna have a good year. And I know people will say, "Oh, he's gonna want his JSN money." Well, he's not gonna get JSN money because he hasn't produced to JSN standards. But also too, like, because the off-field stuff, and as Chief fans, we know when Tyreek got his first contract, that was on the heels of the whole the child abuse stuff that he was allegedly called out for by his ex, which obviously came to be nothing in the end. But the Chiefs, a lot of the cap experts say the Chiefs got a deal on Tyreek Hill's deal because of what he was going on off the field. Right now, could that be a thing with Rashee Rice because of the off the field stuff? Maybe they get a discount on that. Maybe so.
Maybe, yeah, maybe.
So. All right, we're gonna kick it to our sponsor before we get to our next topic, PrizePicks. Check it out, guys. Quick pause. We'll get right back to Chief concerns in a second. But this episode is presented by PrizePicks, America's #1 sports picks app. If you're enjoying the show, PrizePicks is a fun way to stay engaged with the games you're already watching. The app is super easy to use. Just pick more or less on a few player stats like passing yards or touchdowns and build your entry in seconds. And with basketball in full swing, you can also get in on rebounds, points, or three-pointers. It's daily fantasy designed to be simple and quick, whether you're a casual fan or someone who really follows the numbers. And one of my favorite features, you can actually follow me on PrizePicks. You can follow the link in the description and follow along with what I'm doing so you don't miss anything. If you're new, download the PrizePicks app. Use code HMA when you play your first $5 lineup. You'll get $50 in lineups instantly. PrizePicks is available in most states, so check it out. Play responsibly, and let's get back to the show. All right, so our next topic, JD, I was very excited for our next topic because I know we like to pat ourselves in the back here when we're right about guys, especially the mock draft stuff that we do and a lot of the college stuff that we do and, our predictions. And as most of you guys know, we have JD's nickname is Dunstradamus. He tends to call out and predict a lot of things. So this one, Kaiir Elam. So when we signed Kaiir Elam last week, former first-round pick, number 23 overall in the 2022 draft, I instantly was like, oh, Kaiir Elam. That was the guy JD wanted us to draft in 2022. Once viewed as his physical press man corner with a legit cornerback one traits. But Elam has not lived up to expectations so far in his career. After 3 uneven seasons with the Bills, he bounced around in 2025, spending time with the Cowboys, Titans, and now still young guy, 24 years old. He lands in Kansas City at a time when the Chiefs secondary is undergoing major change after moving on from key pieces like Trent McDuffie and Jalen Watson. Elam has primarily played outside corner. 90% of his snaps have been outside. 6'1", physical, but questions still remain about his consistency, scheme fit. But I'm going to take you back down to memory lane to April 22nd, 2022 on the show when we did our mock draft with NFL Draft Diamonds expert as well on that show. But here is what JD had to say about Kaiir Elam, April 22nd, 2022.
With the 29th selection for the Kansas City Chiefs, I think I'm going to take Kaiir Elam, cornerback from Florida. So that's my guy. I like him. Matter of fact, my strategy, because we're talking about a lot of things that we need, right? We know we need a corner. We know we need a wide receiver. We need edge. But holes-wise, myself, I think defensively, if you get a corner, a guy that has the ball skills that he has, okay, the length that he has, the speed that he's got, natural skills, who without a doubt plays big and talented against all the big names and the talents and all he's just going to get better with the competition he's going up against. That's the way I've seen it. And so when I was seeing on film, the things he was doing, man, he was, when I'm talking about impressive, I mean, I really, really liked him. I liked him a lot. And so if we can get a guy like that here with the Chiefs on defense at corner, to me, I think, man, he's a great fit.
Look at those two guys. They haven't aged a day at all in 4 years.
Oh, wow. Good.
But JD, obviously there was a guy you liked 4 years ago, and we've seen so far in his career, it hasn't really, been lived up to the first round expectations. But what do you see with Kaiir Elam? And obviously his contract's very small. I mean, it's not a guarantee he makes the team. I'm hoping for it. He's gonna have an opportunity with the way the secondary is right now. How many guys are gone? What do you make of Kaiir Elam? And do you think that Dave Merritt can kind of pull out a resurrection story or a revival story with Kaiir Elam?
I do. I truly do. And that's why I'm so happy he's here. Because I keep going back to his coaching matters. Coaching matters. And so I think maybe with Kaiir, it's really like a mental game with him. Okay. And probably the worst position that you could have, like any type of doubt in your ability, is corner, because you got to be the best athlete on the field. You got to be almost the fastest guy out there to cover wide receivers, tight ends, running backs. I mean, you have to be a superstar in your own mind. You have to be. You got to play bigger, just mentally, in the things that you do. So I think as far as physicality, I think he has all the things you need. I mean, everything I said in that video, 3 years ago was true even today, or 4 years. It's true. He still has it. I mean, good range, long, lengthy type of guy. I think the type of, and it could be the systems, Marcus, that he might have just played in. It really could. I'm not really familiar with as far as, the Bills, talking about Tennessee, Dallas, these weren't very good defenses. And so coming here, I think Dave can really unlock something in this guy that he may not have felt or heard in a long time. Okay. Dave will put his arm around him. He's going to let him know you're a very talented corner. You can do it all. We was looking at you because you had everything that we wanted. Now we got you here. Now you got the real coaching that you need to be a superstar. So I don't think there's no question he's going to make the team. I don't think we question that whatsoever. And you can look at him in the first year as a depth piece, right? Bring him in, see how he operates, see if he takes the coaching really well, and then watch everything just work. See how he develops. But man, the man came out running a 4.32 40. He got speed. He's got really good speed. He's been able to stay patient. That's was one of his great things is, he don't bite on a whole lot of different things, man. He's ready to just make plays. He's got length to him. He's very rangy. He can catch the ball at the high point if he needs to. So he has all the makings to be a superstar. He has the physical gifts to get those things done. I think a lot of it has to do with, does he believe this or not? Especially if you've been playing this long, sometimes that doubt could creep in, and I could do probably a lot more damage than any type of physical thing that's happened to him.
Yeah, and the one thing I've seen, R. Lowry says Bill's played a lot of zone defense. Elam was more of a man corner, and like while his overall, I know we tend to look at PFF grades just kind of to see how it was, but generally I think he had an average 56.8 overall grade, kind of range between 56 and 60 throughout his career. But it highlights that he's a great physical press man corner, but the struggles that he had with Buffalo and Tennessee and Dallas was they struggled in off coverage and adapting to zone heavy schemes. We're not really a zone heavy scheme team. So like we want what he's good at, what he was coming out of college of being a physical press man guy. That's the reason why you wanted us to draft him at the time, because that's what we're good at. And that's what we do.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And that's what happens when you try to fit, a square peg in a round hole. That's what's going to happen. Guys are going to have some type of difficulty. And so that does matter. The coaching matters. The systems do matter. I think it definitely strive here. I really do. And so we watch Dave and Spags takes guys, this is a first round pick. Okay. The people don't know who this is. He's a first round pick. He was one of the top corners coming out in that draft from Florida. And there was a reason, because of his film, because he was able to give what you're seeing out there on the tape. And Dave could take somebody who's a 4th, 5th, 6th rounder, and he can make stars out of them. And so, like I said, man, it's really it's the instruction, it's toolage, the language you speak. I do believe we do have cornerback, speakers. That's what we have. We have gurus at that coaching position. And so that's what you need to see. That's what you need. You need to find somebody to get the best out of you. And I don't know if he's had that yet. I tell you what, he does now. He does now. And I'm glad he is finally here, because the guy that had all these skills coming out of Florida, these are still here. Okay. Now, Marcus, what happens though with this, right, is you got to retrain some of this bad stuff you might have learned from other coaches. Everybody has different techniques and things that keys that you might want to do philosophically, as far as how you cover guys. But I think Dave and those guys do a great job just taking it to the point where guys understand what they need to know. And the great thing about it is, if like Tyrann Mathieu was saying, is they're gonna go to work. We ain't just gonna go and do cutesy drills and stuff like that. They're gonna come in immediately, OTAs, mini camps and stuff like that, and actually go to work, doing these things and find out what guys are doing. That's why Tyrann Mathieu is like, man, that's why we look like we was in mid-season form at the very first of it, because we went to work. We put the time in. And so he's going to get that. He's going to get that. Coaching, organizations, all those things do matter. All those things do matter. So welcome home. Put it this way. Welcome home, Kaiir Elam. I'm excited, man. I really am excited with this signing right here. So he's the type of guy, if you get him here and he does well, he might want to sign a long-term deal if he looks good, if you unlock something in him. So even if you have him in a rotational piece, man, I mean, he's a first-round pick for a reason. And so I think just in that role, where the support role, he's going to be good, because he's been starting. He's been playing. So
yeah, and that's the thing. What I love about it so much is that obviously he's 24 years old. Like he's still technically in his first contract with Buffalo, but they already kind of waved the white flag with him. So we have an opportunity to mold him, right? And it's like you said, like sure he might have some bad habits he's gotten from these other teams, but he's still young enough where like those really aren't ingrained in him, and he's bounced around 3 teams in 4 years already. So like it's not that much ingrained in him. But like you said, Jalen Watson, 7th round pick. Now he's one of the higher paid cornerbacks in the league. No one saw that coming from him. L'Jarius Sneed, 4th rounder, and obviously he's a free agent right now. He had the knee issues. But like Again, no one saw that coming from this guy out of La Tech. Gosh, who else am I missing here? McDuffie, we already knew a first-round pick. But, again, same draft class. We went up to get McDuffie. Elam was a guy that, we probably could have gotten, and we didn't. But, I mean, I think if you are going to make a bet and pick a cornerback coach or DB coach in a defense to kind of unlock something out of him, this is the right place to go to. So I'm happy that he ended up coming here. And I think they can get some and have him. We're talking about 6'1" guy who runs a 4.3 40.
Man, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm telling you. When everybody talks about Bane and his arms and stuff, if you work your salt as a coach, and you look at this as a challenge, you are looking to unlock this player to be the player that you know he can be. Look at Tyquan Thornton we brought in. Look at him. And so the same thing. He got into this system, start speaking life to him, positivity, letting him know he can still play. Look, we taking a chance on you because we believe in you. Those things do matter. And so you got to speak to his heart. You got to get him to the place where he knows I'm still that guy, or I can be that guy. Sometimes that's all it takes is somebody put their arm around you and say, man, I believe in you. Remember one coach was talking to the one girl, everybody was, had the film, the one coach talking about I believe in you. Sometimes you need a coach to tell you some things like that to bring it out of you. I know I had some coaches, man, who's I believe in you. That did a whole lot for me. Shoot, okay. You believe in me? You need to find out who you are yourself. And so this whole process of him going from one place to another, he's finally home. Put it that way. He's finally home, Marcus.
And I love this signing also because obviously you and I both believe in Dave Mayer and the defensive coaching that we have. Because you mentioned some of the guys you brought in. I mean, Emmanuel Ogbah was a guy we brought in who tore it up with us that 1 year, and then all of a sudden he ends up getting paid, becoming one of the highest paid guys. And he was a first-round pick, but I think the Browns drafted him. The first-round pick didn't do really much his first few years, comes to us, tears it up, goes elsewhere, gets paid. And then what I do like about this is, and for what we've seen in the last few years, is that we've ended up, instead of going to get different new guys, we ended up bringing back the same old guys. We know what he is, and that's it. What I like about this is we're kind of going back to an old trend that we used to do, the days when we went and got Emmanuel Ogbah. During the 2021 seasons, we ended up going to find Josh. We tried these guys. None of these guys really panned out for us, but we still tried. Josh Jackson was a second-round pick. DeAndre Baker was a first-round pick from the Giants. Mike Hughes, we traded for him, was a first-round pick, and now actually since leaving us, he's actually become one of the top 10 cornerbacks in the league, which is funny. But we're trying to go get other guys. And this kind of shows you, it's we're betting on ourselves. We know we have the coaching. We're betting on ourselves here. Hey, let's bring in another guy, and maybe Dave can find a gem out of this guy. And he was a first-round pick for a reason. That's
right. Get that spark, man. And really, as a coaching staff, you should do your due diligence with a guy that you wanted to draft. And I'm sure they probably talked about if he had felt, and followed to him, we could have got him. He'll be fine. He'll be fine. Like I said, I'm looking to see what the finished product's going to be with him. It's going to take a little time, but I think he'll get right in there. Why? Because he's an athlete. He's incredibly talented, athletically. But like you said, press man corner, this is exactly what we do. Man, you are home to come do what you want. What we want you to do. You get a little handsy. They talked about that in college. You beat them up at the line of scrimmage. How about that? You just go to work on these jokers, okay? And let everything else take care of itself. So that's why I love his signing a lot. Like you said, PFF numbers, you can look at them all you want to, and you could take it whatever, but some of that you need to take with a grain of salt because of the system that he was in. So,
and they thought I saw another PFF thing. They Buffalo thought they were turning a corner with him during the 2023 playoffs, where he actually rated in both playoff games. He had a 87.1 PFF grade in both games. So he was starting to trend up a little bit, and then 2024 came, and then that was kind of he went all around the league after that. But hey, if there's one team that can do this. And as we mentioned, it's us, right? We can do that. The guy has the talent and just putting it together. And it's like you said, somebody embracing him. And I mean, shoot, based on what we had Knowles on the show talking about what Dave Merritt does for the players, I mean, undrafted guy right there. And he was talking about how, like, it's a blessing to be around him. Just his kind of aura is like, it's a blessing to be around that kind of vibe. And that just uplifts everybody. And that's why he gets the best out of these guys.
Because Dave just don't care what you do on the field or what you're able to, he understands that everything starts here and right here. And so as a coach, if you can't capture this and this right here, you're going to have a hard time in a lot of different ways. And some guys just want to be coached because, they don't want you to get into here, maybe into here. But Dave does that. And shoot, guys give their all. When you find out somebody actually cares about you, you're ready to run through a brick wall for a guy like that. Okay? And Spags too, because these guys do care with the Chiefs. The coaches do care. And that's very important for a guy who might have been somewhat struggling, coming into league. That's going to mean the world to him. It's going to mean the world to him.
Do you think this changes anything at all as far as if we are interested in cornerbacks in rounds 1 through 2 because he is so young and they do think they can bet on them? No.
No, they still gonna get a couple guys for sure. That's just what it is. Guys get hurt all the time. You never know how things gonna work out. Like I said, due diligence. You got to get the guys. We lost 2 good ones. Marcus, and so you got to be ready to re-up because, like I said, injuries do happen. So you just got to be ready. And I'll say this, okay? Being a former coach, I tell you who did that for me. Like the time I had a hard time after I hurt my knees in Philly, when Gunther Cunningham brought me here with the Chiefs. That was huge, having Gunther. Because Gunn, he spoke to me in a way that I was like, oh man, I'm your guy. You got me. You know what I'm saying? Because we had a heart-to-heart conversation. And Gunn, what he was telling me is like, JD, I've just watched you. I've just admired the things that you did on the field. Most of the coaches did. We wanted to get you here when you came out. He said, you made a couple of guys quit on defense. You just made them quit. I mean, flat out, almost retire. And, Gunn, when I had that conversation with him, I was there. I was like, I got you. And so I wanted to make sure that I did him proud, not only myself, but Gunn also. So that was my guy, man. Rest in peace. Rest in power, my brother. Gunther.
Legend.
So, yes, sir. Yes, sir.
But I mean, it just goes to show you, it's a real thing. Like, showing love and showing some. Because I think some people think that coaches are just hard asses, right? And there's a lot of them that are. There's a lot of them that don't show you that soft side of the love side. Mm-hmm. It's mostly just grind and grind and grind. But it's the coaches, the ones who do show some love towards the players. You get that back, and not every time it's going to work that way. But when you do show some love, the players will give you that same love back to you in their play, and that's a good example of it.
Yeah, you get more sugar than you do with vinegar, and so not saying the coach can't be hard on you, but the ones that like really hard and just try to run you to the ground for no reason kills guys' spirits. They do. They make it tough for you to come out there and to come play and enjoy the game that you love. And I ran into a couple of them coaches. I didn't really appreciate it. A lot of guys didn't like them for the simple fact of how they treated guys, trying to run them to the ground. That does nothing for anyone. It doesn't. All it is ego, and they feel like they need to be that guy. Well, I'll tell you what, guys like that sometimes find themselves almost about to get hurt. I mean, it's just what it is. I have to be honest with you, especially with grown men. Hey, man, you better watch the way you talk to me. I'm just going to let you know. Like, shoot, I could be gone today. Screw this job. I don't care. But I'm going to take a couple of your teeth with me before I leave about this building. How about that? You know what I mean? I mean, it's just for real. And then it's just always sometimes it's just like, man, what's your problem? What is it? What's your problem? You're not getting enough love when you was younger. What's the deal? Somebody treat you this way? You try to do the same thing? Marcus, I always wanted to model the best coaches I've had, okay? And take what I've learned from them and molded it into my own. Okay, have my own spin on things. But man, I've been blessed to have some really great coaches, really great coaches. But I know some real SOBs. I do. Seen them. And I'm just like, this sucker right here, just sucker right here needs to go. Ain't no good.
And I've heard some of those stories offline about some of those coaches. So I think I know it's one you're referencing.
Yeah. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And I think it's a lot of times like with those coaches, right? Like I think some will have, college backgrounds or coaching high school backgrounds. They just get used to coaching. They think they're coaching teenagers. Like when it gets to, coaching professionals, which I think some of them just continue to think they see you guys as the teenagers, the high school or college kids. And so they just treat you like the college kids they used to coach. And I think that could be a big part of why you get some of those type of coaches, the ones who treat pros, guys in their 30s, late 20s, like college students, is because they still see you as college students.
Well, but they trying to, drop their cojones down too to try to, I'm gonna put my flag down. I tell you what, you're gonna find yourself up on the flagpole. You keep talking like this, for real. Sure, I've seen them jokers try to come out there and be all hard and stuff like. Who are you? Who's this guy right here talking this way, right? And you won't be respectful. Look, and it's like this in the league. As long as you're respectful to men, these grown men you're speaking with, okay? Speak in a manner like you're speaking to grown men, okay? We can deal with things, no problem. I don't mind somebody yelling to get you up and get you hype and stuff like that. There's a difference when somebody's trying to correct you with constructive criticism and then somebody trying to run you into the ground. And you could tell there's a difference in that. So it's going to be hard for just anybody to swallow on some things like that, man. Seriously. Woo.
Yeah. Bottom line, it shows some of these players some love, and you'll get that back in your play.
Now, and then you notice, okay, in the maturation process, I didn't bring up names, right? Like,
exactly.
You say what you have to say, whatever, and just take it from there. But
that's a good point, JD. They bring it all back to that's it. And that takes time. That takes time.
It takes time. It does. It takes time. But it will be a day and a time that maybe someday bring some days up like, yo.
Well, we've tried getting one of those guys I know you're referring to on the show, and I think he's contemplating it, but I think he's had some job changes over the last 2 years. So maybe one day we can get the reunion between you two.
Absolutely. I love it. I love it. The crazy thing is, and it is wild because at the time when it happens, you don't really, you don't think about it. I'm sure they don't. But then, when you see each other and you really got to deal with each other, right? It's a whole different situation. And, you kind of respect, okay, you see where everybody stands with each other. But like you said, when you come in as a young guy, I'm just going to run you into the ground and all that. What? So
yeah, they just treat you as a drill sergeant, not really your, coworker.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, I mean, you guys are coworkers. I mean, yeah, everyone's got a boss, and yet to an extent that your coach is your boss, but at the end of the day, he's your coworker because you guys are both working towards the same goal.
Mm-hmm.
But coaches don't see it that way.
What is it? Imagine your coach gets struck by lightning and dies on the field. That was rough. You experienced that, Justin?
Yikes.
Jeez.
Yeah, I never heard of that.
Who said
Oh, man.
Man, that is. Right here, yeah, Laura. Good coaches are good teachers. Respect, accountability, and high expectation. Great coaches embody this 1,000%.
Yeah.
1,000%. And it is about respect, accountability. And the thing is, if you have somebody who's want to keep you accountable and they understand, the standard that you set for them, you can understand that. You can. And you can be like, okay, I get what you're trying to tell me and what we're trying to get at. And I appreciate you for telling me the truth, for trying to get there with that without trying to degrade me and all those different things in front of everybody else. Because this is another thing. Like, you're doing it in front of other dudes and whatnot. Man, I told you, I seen coming back from a game, one of the players ready to fight a coach. And you had to hold the player back. The coach just kind of ran his player to the ground, like dog cussed him. And it was like, what are you doing, man? Like you too far with this. Almost to the point, like, hey, don't hold him back. Let him tap you in the mouth a couple of times. You know, you had grown words. You had grown words you wanted to say. So you're gonna have a couple of these grown hands. Then that's what's gonna happen.
I think something similar happened last night in the Lakers game. JJ Redick pulled out Jared Vanderbilt like with 20 seconds in, put him in, then 20 seconds later pulled him out and went to a timeout. And I guess Vanderbilt didn't like something that Redick said, and he got in his face, and he had to be held back after pulling him out of the game.
JJ done had a little rough go at it, didn't he? With the Lakers. There's been a couple of situations like that. Didn't Luka and him got into it, a little spat?
They did.
Yeah, kind of same thing. And look, I don't know what JJ saying to him, but also too, JJ does have like experience. Like, hey man, like yo, if I see you not giving it, no, you know, Luka, he ain't gonna play a whole lot of defense or whatever. He's like, don't get mad at me because you sucking on defense.
Yep.
I'm just trying to keep you up there to where you need to be. You know, and sometimes guys can be so lofty and in the star and ego. You know, okay, you need to check that ego at the door too. So.
Yeah, and that's one thing I think it's a different level with JJ because we talk about, like, you know, some of these coaches will talk to players like they're high school kids still or college kids. Yeah. JJ was only playing a couple of years ago, and now he's already on the sideline. So these players see him more as an equal. Like, all right, dude, you're not gonna talk to me. Like, we're around the same age. You're not gonna talk to me in that respect. So he has to get the same respect he would get if he was an older, like, male coach instead of, you know, he's a guy who's like only a couple of years older than those dudes.
Yeah,
it's different dynamic.
Different dynamic, totally different dynamic. Some good questions coming on here after talking about that. So Pono said, hi, JD, position coaches are definitely important, but if the player don't got it, they just don't got it to be an elite NFL player. Do you agree? Yeah. The thing is, some of that, you want to embody what your coach is and what he represents. And so maybe that coach may not be getting the best out of that guy. And a coach be like, you know, they'd be like, hey, man, he ain't got it. He got to go somewhere else. And guess what? You know what? Bam, he's a star somewhere else. I watched John Randall. Go watch that. John Randall's story, okay? And John Randall was an undersized defensive tackle. He wasn't going to make the team, went to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I think his brother played with him as well. Got cut, went to the Vikings, got cut. And so John Randall was like, look, what I need to do to become the best defensive tackle. And he had one coach that he said spoke to him and then what he wanted to be. And the coach said, that's all I needed to hear. And we know there it is. In John Randall, Hall of Fame, was one of the best defensive tackles, wreck shop, played against John Randall. I'm telling you, this is what I'm talking about, what coaches do, real coaches do for players. And it's on that coach to behooves them to find out what makes that guy tick to bring the best out of a guy. So just my man, incredible story. But that right there is an example. There's several more that somebody just don't give up on a guy. They just don't. I can't coach this guy. He didn't get it. He's not going to get it. And guess what? He finds himself somewhere else that somebody understands his language. And they speak it and they speak to him, speak to his spirit. And it brings him out on him. And so these things do happen, Pono. So I don't really agree fully with that. I don't. Because I know the other side of it. I do. I know the other side of it. I know that in my own, I always like to feel like I could try to bring the best out of a guy as much as possible. I'm going to try to find out what is going to be the one to unlock you to get there higher. And I'm always telling I'm going to try to get you to be the best possible player you could possibly be. But before that, I'm going to try to help you become the best person you could possibly be. Because I do believe some of those things do go hand in hand. So, yeah, that's a good question. Good question.
What was John Randall's arm size, though? What was his length?
Undersized, you'll never make it. Whatever. He's 5'10", 11. I don't know how tall John Randall was.
6'1", 244 is what, or 6'1", 287.
6'1", 287. And he was undersized. He but he worked hard at it. He worked. But if somebody just said, man, this kid, he's not going to get it. Done. You know?
So he worked his way up to 287. When he tried out for the Buccaneers, he was 6'1", 244.
Yeah.
Man.
And the coach told him, so go check his story out. He said, if you could get to 250 or something like that, he said, you'll get to stay. And John Randall said he went to like Lowe's or one of these hardware departments and got like this chain with a lock on it and put it around his waist and weighed himself. Seeing that so it was 250. He said, all right, you can stay. But ended up, I think, getting cut still later on. But he just worked his way. He just worked his way. And he could have quit. John could have quit. He's like, man, I'm not cut off for this. You know? But he stayed with it, man. He stayed with it. Got him there.
Didn't take no for an answer.
No. You see, Deshaun Hammond's right here. JD, what do you think of Coach Jason Brown from Last Chance U? He's pretty reckless and is still very outspoken. Yeah, man, those series, man, and Last Chance U's, yo, I think those is crazy. Absolutely crazy. It's just wild. It's bizarre to watch coaches just run down kids that way. Now, I was a lot of back and forth about how they did it, you know, and especially with these, you know, you get into these, you know, JUCOs and whatnot. You know, kids need something from each one. The coaches need something, and the kids need something from each other. So I think it was toxic all the way around. Seriously. And some people, that's just who some people are. You know what I mean? That's just what it is, Deshaun. You know what I'm saying? Certain guys, I wouldn't be able to play with a dude like that. I just wouldn't.
Yeah.
Not at all. So, but I mean, he's coached a lot of different dudes and stuff like that, man. I'm shocked somebody ain't put their hands on him. So I don't know. I remember watching some of that series, not even just him, but you know, the other dudes out there. It's just wild. It's crazy to kind of see some of that. And I hear these things, and I don't fully agree with this either. I get that certain guys might have grew up in a particular environment, right? And sometimes they need that to get them motivated and, you know, all of that they need. Okay. But then there's also got to be on the flip side to build a player up where you're just not always tearing them down. Okay. And I think it's got to be a balance, Marcus. It's got to be this happy medium. You know what I'm saying? Not saying you can't talk to a guy and get him up and stuff like that, but shoot, you wonder why some of them can't deal with things emotionally because the way they grew up. And it is toxicity. And so there's got to be, I'm not saying you don't go straight forward and tell them, you know, what you need to tell them. Sometimes you got to deal with certain things, certain ways, but you can't deal with everybody the same like that, man. You know,
each case has to be its own. It's its own way of dealing with things. I think I played on football teams. Different guys need different coaching, and not one coach is going to give everybody the same. Although some coaches go by that, no one's that special. It's going to go get a different type of treatment. I'm just going to coach you all the same. But I don't agree with that. I think every player. And it takes a good coach. It takes a good coach to identify that, right? This player needs tough love. This player needs a little bit of encouragement to get the best out of him. I think it takes a good coach to recognize that from his players.
Yeah. You know, that's emotional awareness. That's aware of yourself, who you are as a person too, to teach that to others. You know what I mean? Because like I forgot who said it. Maybe it was Laura was talking about because you have a responsibility. And my responsibility is just not on the football field. Your responsibility is making productive people in life as much as possible to do that too. Speak life into them where they have their own kids and do all those other things. We know bad coaches, all that yelling and stuff like that, I think is for the birds. If you got to get to the point to yell all the time, then I just don't think you're an effective coach. I just don't. That's my opinion about it. And I've seen it. I've seen how these things work. So,
Jeremy Gallagher's been asking this question for like the last 30 minutes. So, sorry, Jeremy. So Greenard for Prince Felix, rumor thoughts. Okay, so it's not a rumor. Bill Barnwell of ESPN made like a hypothetical trade article, and the hypothetical trade was Chiefs would get the Vikings first round pick and the Vikings third round pick, and Jonathan Greenard, the DN for the Vikings, and we would trade him our 9th pick and FAU. I would say no to that just because I don't want to trade that first round pick for a third and the 18th. I would say no. I want to keep that 9th pick. We're not going to get a chance to have a top 10 pick many times in the Mahomes era, and I think we need to take advantage of that. So, but not a rumor though. It's just a Bill Barnwell was a talk about hypothetical trades to be made. There's no legs to that. It's just a hypothetical article.
Yeah.
What do you make of that?
I don't know. I don't know anything about it. I ain't gonna speak about something I don't know anything about. I don't know. So I'm seeing it here. I'm just like, okay, all right. Well.
Yeah, I don't really give much sense to those hypothetical trades. Like it's not a rumor he's heard it from. It's just he's just speculating.
Oh man, no, it's a waste of time.
Draft day speculation. Not even speculation. It's just his opinion on what trade would make sense for both sides. That's all that is.
Oh, okay. Nah.
Now you're good, Jeremy. It's a good question to ask, though. Yeah, not a rumor. Some people think that those are rumors.
Yeah, some people are. I don't know that. Steve Nuss said some people were never spanked as a child. Yeah,
that's true.
True. Yeah. Some were spanked too much.
That's also true. Yeah.
Yeah. When I'm telling you, I watch coaches kill kids' spirits. Like just take it out of them. It's a sad thing to see, man. It's a sad thing to see. I had to tell a coach one time, I'm like, man, what are you doing? Why are you talking to this kid like this? Like, honestly. Because now it seems like you're bullying. Young dude, like you seem like a bully. And so I'm always gonna step in, man. For if I hear something like that, I'm gonna say something. Gets to that point, really. Some of that stuff can become ridiculous, and it's just like, okay, oh, you need to be hard, yeah, but do you need a chastisement to that degree? You look like you're getting joy out of this. Those are the ones like you need to put your hands around. Like, man, I fold you up right now. Like, you don't need to be nowhere near these kids or anything. And I see that. That's the ones like you really need to take to task. I don't mind doing that. Shoot. So.
Yeah. Like, I mean, you see it all the time where kids, good at football, they love the sport, but then you see the love being sucked out of it because of a coach. Just making it miserable and making it something you want to avoid doing instead of being excited to go to practice every day, which practice is mundane. You don't want to go to practice every day, especially the high school, the college, and the hot summer days. But when you see this, the love being sucked out of it because of a coach just being a downer, it's like it's terrible. Yeah, you see, I saw that a lot in high school and college.
Oh yeah. Somebody, Linda Hunter, real quick, off topic. What are your thoughts with the Don Stanley Gino controversy? Real quick. Gino messed up. He ran up on the wrong one. That's what happened. Should have known better. Should have known how to act, man, and respond to certain things. That's what I think. So that's real easy.
Yeah. That was a bad look for Gino. Bad look.
It was. He's too good of a coach, man, to allow that to transpire the way that it did.
Yeah. So. Yeah. But all right, guys. Well, that does it for us on this Wednesday evening. We hope you guys enjoyed the show. We will be back next Monday for some more college prospects, and that's the second to last college prospect show of the 2026 year. And then not till 2027 we'll do it again. But it's coming, guys. Fastly approaching, and I appreciate all the love you guys are giving us in the college prospect show. I know we started it last year doing the 3 prospects each week for all of us. And I know you guys are big Chief fans and NFL fans. You guys don't know a lot about these prospects, and we're seeing all the engagement and all the love you guys are showing us on that. So yeah, we take a lot of time in doing research on these players just so you guys can see and get a first taste at some of the guys who may play for us and also may play for our opponents. And it's just good knowledge, and we appreciate all the love you guys have given us on our Monday shows so far throughout the draft process. But yeah, 2 more weeks of draft before the real deal, baby.
Oh yeah, 3 more weeks, man. So that's a good question right here. We have to address it maybe next time. I have a lot to say about that. I really do. Our guy, man, Deshaun Hammond's great show, guys. Wish me luck. My guys haven't go to gloves. My brother, go out there, go get it, go knock that joker out.
Go get him, baby.
Put him down, brother. Put him down, man.
And make sure you post a video on Instagram so we can share on the show.
Yeah, definitely, man. We pushing for you all the way, man. We got your back, baby. Got your back. You need to come in the ring with you on the side. Yeah, let's go. Come on, now. Come on. You ain't ready for my boy. You ain't ready for him. So, oh my gosh. Good deal, man. Good deal. Well, hey, Marcus said it. Hey, it's perfectly said, brother. Listen, you all have a wonderful weekend. Y'all take care. God bless. Hey, the way this thing is going to happen, we throwing a lot of different names out there. I think things have changed, obviously, with the free agents we have brought in. I think there's still some guys who may still be on, maybe after the draft for sure. But, you know, if y'all been listening to me and I've told you what I think we have to get first, second, third, fourth, and all those different things, hopefully that's the way the Chiefs go. Okay. Hopefully, Marcus, we get our druthers, man. Right. So, but with that being said, man, listen, y'all take care. God bless. Y'all be safe. Deshaun Hammond's my brother, man. Put it on him. Okay. Give him a whole lot of these, baby. Give him a whole lot of these. That's right. Illy Beeman said, put them paws on him. What up, Illy Beeman? I ain't seen his name in a long time, man. Where you been at?
A while.
Where you been at, Illy? Oh, man. Well, good to see you all. Okay. Listen, y'all take care. Come holler us next week. God bless. We will see y'all. Love each other the way you're supposed to love each other. Okay. Deshaun Hammond, knock that sucker down, then pick him back up. Okay. How about to do it? All right. That's the way we do, man. All right. Ladies and gents, y'all have a great one. All right. Salute to you too, Illy Beeman. Y'all be good. Jeremy Gallagher, open day drummer. Love to do it. Maybe one day. They get me up there. We'll see. Y'all be good. Marks, my brother, love you.
Love you, buddy.
Okay.
Take it easy, everybody.
See y'all.
See y'all next week. Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out the best clips from Chief Concerns. And if you prefer to listen to the show, subscribe and follow us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and anywhere else you get your podcasts.